The entirety of Phantasy Star Online 2 lore is long and extensive, deep and knowledgeable, with every character pretty much sharing a tragic story, including your own player character. They share a tragic story that's almost even more so than anyone else, as the player character has traveled through time and space, pretty much relived the memories of other NPCs such as Luther and Karascles and even Matoi. But it doesn't stop there. In New Genesis, the player character is now finding themselves in a much more peculiar situation. The story of New Genesis is set on planet Halpha, where the future Arx has pretty much settled and has been engaged in a battle that has lasted for an undetermined amount of time. This battle on Halpha is now engaged with an enemy force by the name of Dolls. And with the battle against Dolls raging on for as long as it has been, Arx, otherwise known as the artificial relic to keep species, has been engaged with these battles for decades and an undetermined amount of time, probably even before then, until one day your player character appears again, this time with no memory, and in fact, even stranger still, crash landing upon the planet almost as if it was an accident. But maybe it was more than that. Maybe it is a coincidence, or something entirely more predetermined. No one knows where these dolls are coming from or even how long they've been inhabiting the planet of Halpha. Have they been inhabiting the planet prior to Arx settling, or have they been there only more recently? Regardless of whatever it is, the player character has now appeared onto the scene. It is now referred to as a Meteoran. Meteorans have been appearing for an undetermined amount of time as well. Is that linked to the dolls perhaps? We don't know yet. One thing is for sure is that these Meteorans appear with no memory, and thus, if they were former Arx, their records and their memories are lost to the test of time and space. While Arx still remains, which is the last living legacy of the Photoners. It's been 1,000 years since the events of Oracle, where the Guardian confronted Shiva with the help of Matoi, Isugi, and Harriet. It's also been over 1,000 years since anyone has last seen the Dark Falls Collective, even more so since the involvement of Luther, one of the last Photoners who led Arx in secret. But regardless of the past, one thing is clear: the Meteorans fight on a level that is unparalleled to that of Arx. In fact, they fight on a united front against the dolls alongside Arx. And as the player character makes their way to Central City, one thing is clear: anything on Halpha is far from normal. Could it be that dolls are part of some research project that went rampant among the world of Halpha, which could explain why some of the world has been terraformed into more mechanical features? It could even explain why there are destroyed research facilities and even Ryuka towers scattered across the world. It could explain why the terraforming of Halpha has been divided into specific regions where there is a tundra, a volcano, and even a desert with a foresty region around the central city. Could it be that even after thousands of years, someone has stumbled across Photoner research and is now trying to recreate life through the dolls themselves? Could it be that after thousands of years and after the photons that have been scattered across the universe after Shiva's disappearance is now running rampant, and somebody who's using the dolls to try to create a host for these photons that are now, well, for the lack of a better phrase, lost? One thing is for sure is that only time will tell, and the Meteoran that makes their way into Central City will only have one major role to play. This time is to play the act of the Guardian once more, but not for Oracle, this time for planet Halpha and all of its inhabitants.